A rare dissociative disorder in which two or more personalities with distinct memories and behavior patterns apparently exist in one individual. Norwich, Connecticut, a quiet suburb area. Well, it was quiet till he walked through my doors. He called himself Carl Jennings. I should have run the other way, but something told me to stay. He used to leave these little quotes on napkins and sticky notes and things. This one said, "Your life, your world in just a frame. Have you been paying attention? The truth and lies can all be the same." Mr. Jennings, how are you? Welcome.
Yeah, all right. Welcome.
Please have a seat. Let's get started.
Where else shall I sit?
The hell in that $700 leather burgundy chair. Don't worry, it's comfortable even for a man of your status.
Yeah, all right. Aren't you a lovely bird, eh? She has fire in her soul and grace in her heart. The sun will shine bright when her smile lays the light. My dad used to say it to my mom when she was cooking in the kitchen. It's quite sweet, I guess.
So, what brings you here?
Well, they say I need to be here. You know, speak to someone, a professional, as they say.
They?
Yeah, they. You know, they.
I'm sorry, I don't know they.
They, you know they. Piss off about it, all right?
Okay. So tell me, Mr. Jennings, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yes. For work. How do you earn a living, money?
Well, I'm in the food business. I own a restaurant bar in Birmingham. Tit for tat.
I'm sorry?
Tit for tat. It's the name of my bar. Sort of rolls off the tongue now, doesn't it? My wife don't like it that much because of tit in the name. I mean, would she rather I call it cunt for tat?
Mr. Jennings, if you could just keep the language down a bit.
What? Cunt? Cunt's the problem? Doctor, you. That really gets your go now, doesn't it? Oh, doctor, I would be remiss if I thought that you, my dear, have some hang-ups. I mean, a therapist with hang-ups, who would have thunk it, right? What is that? You know, the good old, the original, Dad used to beat your mom? Nah, Dad used to call you names. Ex-husband, maybe. I know, maybe it's a schoolboy when you were little Julie. Used to call you that, gave you a complex.
Mr. Jennings, Carl, we are here to talk about you and only you. And we have a limited amount of time here. So I suggest that you and I get on with it.
Oh, yes. Let the healing begin, I suppose, right?
So you were telling me that you run a restaurant in Birmingham. That's interesting. Is that something you've always wanted to do?
No, not really. I actually wanted to be a ball player. I wanted to play for Manchester United. But, as you blokes say in the States, soccer, right?
Soccer. That's great. And now you own your own business. I think that's wonderful. So tell me about that. When you were a child and your parents used to see each other. When your dad would say those nice things to your mom, that saying.
Well, I guess that's where I get my smoothness from, right? My dad. My dad sold mink coats in the 60s. He was a furrier. He never really made a lot of money. He didn't really like us to know that. He was struggling for money. But every time he came home, he would wipe that frustration right off his face to put a smile on his face and greet us at the door. They were a lovely couple. This is usually where the waterworks come from, right? Not really gonna know that this time. God rest their beautiful souls. My mom always had a kiss waiting for him. See, boys are missing that these days. The old ways of doing things. We in this decade, we don't have that.
You feel like women don't carry themselves with the manners they used to? Like they're lacking? It seems you hold your mother up on a pedestal.
I hold my mother up to somewhere. See, women these days they're a little slow. No pride, no support for the man. Too angry, too selfish, right? I mean, take my girlfriend, for example.
Your girlfriend?
That's right, my girlfriend. She gets mad when I work too much and stay out all night. But when I don't have enough money to buy a new car, she gets disappointed. They're unwinnable, these buds. These broads.
Carl, you mentioned that you saw your dad get murdered.
I don't remember mentioning my dad's death.
Your dad.
My dad.
You loved him. Why do you think he'd be murdered?
My dad was a complicated guy. He ran with, let's say, some questionable gentleman. He wasn't making a lot of money selling furs. I mean, you can only borrow so much money without paying it back, right? As a young boy, I had no idea how much trouble one can get into when desperately trying to support a family. He did whatever he could, so we didn't think he was failing at his business. But then, bam. You can only borrow so much money without paying it back. But then ultimately money, rock, cash, pounds, whatever the fuck, ultimately took him away from me. Way too early. And now you're bringing it up. Right? Now you're bringing it up. Because that's what you people do, right? You love to watch men like me squirm, right? You love to watch me squirm, you like to watch me move, you like to just stare at me, right? You like to poke, you like to prod, because that's what you do, right? Isn't that what you do? Right? Because maybe you're just a little sick. Maybe that's what you fucking do, right? Because you're blood-sucking crack, right?
I do not like to be intimidated in my own office, Mr. Jennings.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm quite the little bug, ain't I?
I suppose you are.
You're right, I'm sorry.
Carl, may we continue? Your father?
I'm not half the man my dad was, but I'm 10 times the businessman he was.
Businessman or gangster?
A businessman, gangster, what the fuck, what's the difference, right? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do in this crazy little world.
Are gangsters not violent?
Not always. Sometimes you have to be violent to get what you need, right? Sometimes. This one time, we'll call him Frank. Alright? Frank was in my bar betting on the ponies. He put down 20 grand on a pony to place, just a place. He said he had a great tip on this one, some horse named My Sweet Muffin or some shit like that, right? Some little It turns out that this horse ended up running like a wounded bulldog in the snow.
Okay, I'm not familiar with horse racing. So if you put $20,000 down on a horse, what happens?
What do you mean what happens? If you lose, you pay the bookmaker.
So he paid you $20,000.
Oh no, he didn't pay me. He didn't have money. On him or anywhere for that matter. There's a good lesson here. Never, ever bet above your means. Unless you're trying to spice up a dull Tuesday evening, right? I mean, nothing spices up a party than betting 5 times your net worth, right? So that's how you get a bird to trust you. You just make them laugh. It's not hard to do. No, he didn't pay me. 'Cause he's a fucking cunt moocher. That's why.
So how was Frank gonna pay then?
I decided to let this one go, right? I'm a merciful businessman. I say do unto others as you would like done unto you, right?
Carl, do you consider yourself a good person?
Would I consider myself a good person? Good person. I would consider myself just a man. Just a man trying to make his way through the world with as much freedom as possible, right? There's a saying my friend used to tell me. May the world rotate and the beers flow. All the way to the edges of the highs and the lows, well, there will be lows. My friend Ian back home used to say that. Not quite sure what he meant by it. I just know I need to take it one day at a time.
My name is Carl Jennings.